What's up, everyone? This is Brett with BK Health and Performance. Today I just kind of wanted to talk about gaining muscle mass. I know obviously for a lot of guys that's a huge thing that they're trying to do. So I want to try to go over a few quick topics that can hopefully help out anybody with gaining some muscle. If you want to look at one of my new programs, I do have a mass gaining program that is up. It's one of my favorite ways to pack on some LBs. It has some nutrition tips on there too, specifically, what percentage of carbs, protein, and fat you should be eating every day. Also has a calculation for you to kind of figure out how many calories you should be eating total every day. So hopefully that helps you out. Feel free to check that out. But back to kind of some of just the basic tips. So I think the most common way that people try to put on LBs, besides obviously eating more, is doing some more bodybuilding specific workouts. So I think those are great. It's going to be a lot of high volume with relatively heavy weight. So by high volume, I mean probably 8 to 15 reps, sometimes even a little bit more, but keeping the weight relatively heavy so you're struggling in those last couple reps. So if you ever hear people talk about the pump sensation, that tight feeling when you're doing a lot of curls and it feels like you can't really move your arm at the end, that is actually going to be a good thing for gaining muscle. So it's going to cause a lot of red blood cell ruptures. Your body kind of freaks out, sends testosterone growth hormones to the area, and that's going to help you build up muscle a little bit better. So doing those isolated movements are very good for building up muscle mass, but I don't want you to only do those too. So sometimes people forget about lifting heavy. So as long as you have a decent background in weightlifting and have good form, I would suggest trying to lift heavy at least once. I like to do it twice a week, but I also have kind of more of a powerlifting background. So by lifting heavy, I mean try to get above 80% of your predicted max. So you can kind of estimate your max based off of some 5 rep maxes, 6 rep maxes, and there's websites where you can kind of figure out those calculations. Should be pretty easy for you. But when I say heavy, I mean above 80% of the max. So probably maxing out 6 reps, and then that's probably about 80%. Going all the way down to even doing, straight up 1 rep max days or 2 rep max days. So program I have has a little bit of that in there. It's actually once a week where it's heavy legs. The reason we do heavy legs and the reason that this is good for packing on muscle mass is actually it's going to be good for increasing the hormone release in your body that helps you build muscle. So, it's great to do bodybuilding workouts to specifically work the biceps, but you want to try to maximize the amount of free-floating testosterone and the growth hormone release in your body. So the way to do that is actually the number one way to do that is sleep. So that's a whole other topic. But the number one exercise you can do to do that is deadlifts. So the reason for it is you're using a large percentage of your muscle mass to do a heavy deadlift. So your body is going to react to that by releasing those hormones. So another good exercise for going heavy, would be back squat. So those are the number 2, I'd say. So heavy deadlifts, heavy back squat, bench press is good too to go heavy. Really any kind of heavy movement, compound movement, is going to be good to help release some of those hormones. But for sure, deadlifts, if you can do them safely, and heavy back squats, those are going to help. As weird as it sounds, those are going to help your biceps grow too. So as long as you're doing both of those training together, I think you're pretty set. Going back to the sleep thing, if you are getting underneath 7 hours of sleep, it's been shown to be pretty detrimental to your testosterone and any kind of growth hormones you have overnight. So when you're sleeping, that's when your body's repairing itself, right? So when we're working out, we're actually breaking apart muscle mass and in hopes that our body can build it back up stronger. Your body doesn't want to have to go through that again, so it's going to build everything back up stronger. So we need to have those recovery periods. That's kind of why we're not doing the same exercise every single day. We're switching things up, right? Letting those body parts recover a little bit. Also why you need a lot of sleep. Growth hormones. Number one thing I would say for putting on muscle mass is recovery. So please get some sleep. Make sure you're drinking the water. As far as supplements go, really caffeine, creatine, and protein are the only 3 things that have been basically 100% proven to completely work. There are a lot of other supplements out there that some research shows that they do work, some show they might not work. The next thing I would do would be branched chain amino acids, making sure that they have leucine in them. A lot of leucine has been shown to trigger some pathways in your body that's going to help you build muscle mass. So if you are getting amino acids or you're getting protein that have some amino acids in them, make sure it has a lot of leucine in it. That's kind of the main stuff I would do as far as supplementation. So there you go. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit there with some basics. Again, I have a mass gaining program at bkperform.com. You can check it out. It's going to have some nutrition information on there. It's going to have 4 days a week of some more isolated movements, kind of more of that specific bodybuilding workouts. It also has 1 day of some heavy lifting, specifically to legs. If you don't have a large training background, I would suggest just to try to get in the gym and start doing anything, because just building that habit is really going to help you take off and kind of build that foundation so you can later build muscle on top of it. I have some HIIT strength training programs that I think would be great for that. The first couple weeks of those are pretty basic in the sense they're just a lot of body weight stuff, kind of building up those leg circuits and building up those arms, and then you can take that straight into a bodybuilding program, mine or somebody else's, and hopefully that helps you out a little bit. So there you go. Make sure you get some sleep, lift heavy, lift a lot, eat a lot, and get some of those supplements in. So that's all I got for today. Thanks, guys.